Hey, what's up you guys? You're watching Team APS. I'm here with Trell, and in today's video we're going to talk about the unspoken rules in Yu-Gi-Oh! We're not talking about the rule book, we're talking about the things that kind of go without saying.
Right.
So
but we're going to say them anyway.
Let's hop right in.
We're actually going to start with acknowledgement of defeat. And pretty much what that means is you don't have to shake your opponent's hand, after a match, but just some kind of acknowledgement, good game, just some good show of sportsmanship is always desirable.
Yeah, don't be the guy who's a salty piece of shit. I mean, I'm not there's nothing wrong with wanting a rematch.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with even saying, okay, I don't even have a problem with people who are I lost because my hand kind of sucked. That's just small excuses. It's fine. No one's gonna. I'm talking about the people who just storm off, right?
And I've had that happen. I had somebody leave an event before after I won.
Yeah.
He just left. He just literally packed up and he left the entire event.
Those people who they glare and they just swipe up their stuff and just huff and puff away.
Yeah, they sign really fast.
It's don't talk to you, don't look at you. It's already enough if you've been one of those people who's rude during the game.
Yeah.
But then also if you finally lose and then you have the disrespect to.
Yeah.
I get not everyone handshakes.
Right, great.
I
don't like touching anybody.
It's I'm a fist pound person, for example.
Yeah.
But
I
I don't believe in just outright leaving.
Just walk away.
I think that's.
That's just it. Just shows.
It
just shows how shitty of a person you are, and obviously Yu-Gi-Oh is not for you.
Mine is going easy on kids and new players. I think that this goes without saying, but at every card shop, there's the one guy, right? There's the one guy who...
Yeah. It's not me.
I get it. You look ashamed. I get it. Everybody wants to, OTK some new player and look cool. Oh, my deck can put out so much damage. Great. But, okay, you're cool, right?
Yeah, your deck does things.
You OTK'd the 8-year-old kid with his mother there,
with the starter deck.
And awesome.
It does make you seem like a cool person. And also they're kids, so they're learning. And even if they're not kids, just somebody just beginning in the game who's not as good as you are, it discourages other players from wanting to play in that environment, especially playing you, but playing in that environment knowing that they have that kind of adversity to deal with, because it's a lot of pressure.
Toxic.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure and it's toxic. So nobody wants to be. Nobody. It's one thing to lose, but it's nothing to let's be honest, to be shitted on. And nobody feels good after that. So kids and new people, just kind of take it easy on them, help them understand the game, help them get better, because obviously we all were there at some point. Right.
Right. Yeah, we all started there.
We were all shitty people at some point. Nobody started this game great, except for me. But other than that, nobody started this game great. So just take it easy.
I'm still trying to get there. I'm just trying to be like you.
Well, you got to grow your hair out first.
What is your next one?
Actually, my next one actually ties in with the first one we said about acknowledging defeat. But my next one is communicating. And this is within the game. So just being verbal, announcing your phases, talking to your opponent, make sure they understand what you're doing. Make sure you understand what they're doing. Just having a constant flow of communication between two players. And so these are unspoken rules, but we're speaking them because we have the issue. The issue always comes up a lot where a person says, "Are you attacked?" "Oh, I didn't attack. I didn't say attack." So there's always these little small things that within the game.
You really have to talk in this game. This is one of those games where you just get to just activate these cards, announce your phases,
or they just point, or they just do this.
People point push cards and stuff. Yeah, announce your phases, especially when you end your turn. There's so many people who they won't say when they end their turn and stuff, and then either they're slow playing and oh, I already ended my turn. I don't know what you're waiting for. Or the opponent will try to start their turn. It's oh, wait, no, I'm not done. I remember this thing. It's just kind of yeah, right? Come on, just be vocal.
You don't have to be their best friend or anything, but just it also helps with the environment as well. If you guys are communicating, it helps make it a lighter environment. It's more of a positive environment for everybody being.
So I guess in a similar vein, don't touch your opponent's cards. Respect other people's stuff.
Yes.
Nothing's worse than those people who just kind of walk up to your game. They're not even in the game. They walk up to your game, pick up your cards, pick up your deck and look at it in your grave and all this stuff. Or the cards you have set on your field.
Right. I hate when somebody walks by and they want to see the next card I'm about to draw or see what I have said. I hate that. Now I am guilty, and I've been working on that. I am guilty of when I'm playing someone if I'm trying to get them to stop, because sometimes people move too fast and I'm not justifying it, but I'm guilty of being the person like I won't damage cars, but I'll grab your hand or I'll pick up something. I'm not gonna lie, I'm that person. I'm guilty of that and I'm working on it. But yeah,
first step is acknowledgement.
Yeah, I'm just an aggressive person though. But yeah, so yeah, like you said, respect other people's things.
Especially also, I guess similar. Don't have drinks like on the playmat and like food on the like save your McDonald's or whatever for like before or after the match, but like not like in the match you got like McDonald's sitting on the playmat. You know what I mean? Like, or especially, and for some reason it seems like it's always in YuGiOh shops, Chinese food. With with the soy sauce
Chinese
and everything.
Food or pizza and you got greasy hands.
And like it's just on there and the people like spewing soy sauce everywhere. And it's,
don't touch my shit.
And it's like you're in the middle of a game and like you're picking up cards like after your hands were just on this burger or after they were just on this thing and it's like, oh, let me read your card. Oh, like this grease all over it. Like,
we will fight.
Yeah.
I'd fight you. I don't have a problem with that.
So yeah, don't do that.
Which comes off another piggyback for the next one. The next unspoken rule is don't backseat duel. And simply what we mean by that is if you're not a part of this one-on-one duel, you shouldn't be giving out pointers, throwing out hints. You should be saying what ifs. There should be nothing that you should be communicating anything about this game into the game to other players to be affected by.
I think backseat dueling is the most universally hated thing.
It is.
In any competitive thing.
In general, just in anything, not even just dueling.
No one likes backseat like drivers. They're
right. It's shitty. First off,
no matter where you are, like I feel like even when you're playing like super casual friendlies, people don't like that.
I mean, I don't.
Especially not in tournament. Especially not in like on regional or YCS. Like
yes, these are violations. They really are. I mean, and everybody has and it's always bad because you'll see somebody dueling and you'll see a whole bunch of people standing behind some person. And so now he's got to like hold his hand up to himself like this because
it distracts people from the game.
It is a distraction.
And I feel like even if you're not backseat dueling or giving advice, I feel like even just the people who make like those obvious reactions and like it's like what? Like,
we don't need all that.
You know,
just
we don't
let them
need
play
a
their game.
gallery.
Right, we don't. So backseat dueling, you guys are shitty. I just want you to know. And you know who you are because a lot of people do it on purpose. I found out people do it on purpose.
Yeah, people do. They try to trigger people and they just want their friend to win. All that stuff. My next one, read the cards.
Yes.
Your cards, your opponent's cards. I know this gets like overstated, but read your cards. It's so important.
It's still prevalent to this day.
And when I say read your cards, I don't just mean like in the game be reading this card for the first time. I mean before you even go to locals, before you start like taking your cards and playing, read them. You know, read what stuff in your own deck does. And if there's something that's confusing, look up a ruling.
Right.
Like in advance, don't, go to an event literally not knowing how your own stuff works. And then by extension, your opponent's stuff, you might have to learn it as you play, but still, read cards. That's like a piece of advice too, like where, your opponent's going crazy and going nuts and you don't know what's happening. It's okay to read their cards, right? Like, let me see what this stuff that you're doing actually does, but don't be the guy who doesn't know your own stuff and doesn't even read the opponent's cards and just lets the game just go to hell in a handbasket. Yeah. Because it will.
Irreparable game state. Now you're upset, but you didn't.
And then they complain. That's what they.
I didn't know no one stopped us. No one told me anything.
I didn't know it did that.
Oh well, if you read it, it would have told you that it did. All right, next thing we got on the list is and it's pretty much don't interrupt someone else's trade. Don't first off, don't interrupt somebody dueling so that you can trade with them. But also along the lines that if you see two people trading, don't jump into that trade.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. So if he wants a pot of desires and we're working out a deal for pot of desires, don't walk your ass up trying to, hey, I got this or this. Don't. I call it hustle busting. Don't bust somebody else's hustle. Like that's horrible.
Yeah, I feel like that's okay. So yeah, two things then. There's that, and then there's just the general like someone's we're trading. Third person walks up. That's how theft happens, kids. Don't do that. If you're the person trading, tell people. Wait, I will trade later. And then what you said, don't stop a trade that's like going through. Like if you're trading me I don't know how much pot of desires and stuff. Let's say it's $50, right? I think it's more than that. But let's say it's $50, right? And like we're trading for it and he's offering me a pot of desires for 40, right? Cutting me a deal. And then like someone always walks up, right? And it's like, oh, like pot of desires went up to like 55 today on Trolling Toad, and it's just kind of like, shut up.
Let that go. Like unless it's like a little kid, somebody who's not very knowledgeable in the game. Yeah, that's different. You want to be a decent person. So those situations, it's okay to jump in and say, hey, you're trying to undercut this person. That's not fair. But other than that, if they both are on par and they seem and they're both
people are aware of what's going on.
It's a mutual understanding that this is the deal we're going to make. there should be nothing that you should have to say about it. And that happens like quite a bit. And that's also another problem that we have with trading as well. Trading doesn't happen very often, but when it does, we've also got a lot of backseat traders and a lot of hustle busters. And
yeah, it's almost like the tips all just go together to make one Yu-Gi-Oh douchebag.
Right.
No one likes.
Don't be that person.
Keep an eye on your things. That's like, I feel like Konami might as well put this in the rule book. Like,
right?
I mean, because Yu-Gi-Oh theft is the biggest thing. It happens at locals. It happens at big events. No one's happy. Like, basically, no one wins in Yu-Gi-Oh thefts because it's like it makes the community that much colder and more distant, and then no one wants to trust anyone else, and it ruins friendships, and people lose their stuff, and fights happen. Like, it's Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, don't make that have to be a thing.
Right. I go to events now. Like when I go to events, I take my my mat and my deck box. That's it. I usually have a binder with me, but I don't bring it in anymore. And I'm not worried about someone stealing my thing, but at the same time, it can happen. But that's the shitty part, is that you have to even worry about that to begin with. So yeah, just keep an eye on your things. It's unspoken, but people lose things like it's nobody's business. 1 minute it's there, the next minute it's not.
Yeah, and once your cards are gone, there's no way to prove anything.
That those are your cards somebody else has, and so.
No, I had 3 secret maxis too. You know, whatever.
Prove that I didn't. You know.
And you get the last one.
Oh,
the fun one, the one that everybody truly loves.
Yes, the last one. Wash your ass.
Yeah.
Good hygiene is very important in anything. First off. But, and this has been reiterated multiple times throughout our videos, other videos,
Everyone
just in general. Everybody talks about it because it is a huge issue. Nobody likes to go into a room in a room full of hard legs, first off, where you smell like ass. And we're all sitting freaking elbow to elbow.
You know, like we already have to you can't even put your mat here because you're this close. Don't be the guy who hasn't taken a shower, hasn't used deodorant, hasn't brushed their teeth, hasn't honestly really kind of done much of anything. And also, bringing deodorant when you already smell like shit doesn't make it better. Like, don't just be the guy who just has some deodorant. Oh, someone says you smell like shit.
I put some on last night. Yeah.
Slap it on. Okay, I'm better. No, that doesn't make it better. Just take a shower like an actual person. You know what I mean? Wash your hair like an actual person. You know, don't do all that stuff. Don't wear the people who wear the tank tops and
they're always sweaty.
They always wear just the tank tops. And basketball shorts
and the thong slippers.
Yeah, and it's some Crocs or some shit. And it's
you grown
just really letting it all go everywhere.
I'm gonna give y'all some fashion tips one day. No Crocs for grown men. And that's the thing too. It is grown men shouldn't wear Crocs. I'm allowed to say that because I just feel that way. But whatever. I'll give y'all some fashion tips one day. But yeah, hygiene is a very important thing. And some people, and we're not making fun of anybody that has issues, because sometimes actually BO is an actual issue sometimes. But my thing is, people know when they have these issues. So if you know you're a person that sweats a lot and things that nature, know how to mitigate that. And I just don't think people care enough to do it, and it leads for a very, very nasty environment. And I'm kind of a germaphobe as it is. Now I got to sit next to your extra sweaty ass. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen me at an event, but I like to look clean. And now I got to sit next to this person who's all sweaty. I don't want you touching me. And I mean, it sounds mean, but it's the truth. Nobody wants to be touched by another person.
I've always been one of the ones that I bring Germ-X to these events.
Right, and it's just on the offense. And also, with that being said, we're all adults. No one should have to tell you to clean your ass.
You're not a child.
But we do.
We're not. You don't need to be parented by other Yu-Gi-Oh players.
But it happens.
Just take a shower. Wear deodorant,
wash your ass.
Right? Brush your teeth, things like that.
And don't say
basics. So I think that's it. Unless we're forgetting anything. But if we are, that's where you come in, right? In the comments, let us know, what would you say are the unspoken rules of Yu-Gi-Oh? The things that it goes without saying, but yet they kind of sometimes still get broken. But yeah, that stuff. Let us know down in the comments below. Also, sponsor and social media stuff is all down there too. And that's gonna be it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Wash your ass.